Cognition and Emotion. Cognitive psychology is the scientific study of mental processes. Some mental processes include attention, language use, memory, perception, problem solving, creativity, and thinking. Cognitive psychologists study how people think and the process behind their thinking. Cognitive psychology emerged around the late 1950s, and cognitive theories of emotion began in the 1960s, which was known as a time called the Cognitive Revolution. Some prominent people in theories of emotion and cognitive psychology are Stanley Schachter and Jerome Singer, who developed the two-factor theory of emotion, Zion's and his theory on feeling and thinking, and Lazarus's appraisal theory of emotions. Stanley Schachter and Jerome Singer's two-factor theory of emotion states that one feels emotion from two factors, physical arousal and your cognitive appraisal of the arousal. In an experiment, Schachter and Singer injected college participants with epinephrine. In one group, they told the participants that it was a drug that would help their eyesight. In another group, they told the participants that it would include side effects that would cause their heart rate to increase and their body to flush. Afterwards, they had a person go into the groups and either act excitedly or irritatedly. The volunteers that were told there would be side effects felt little emotion, contributing it to the drug. However, the volunteers that didn't know about the drug attributed their physical arousal to either happiness or annoyance, depending on the behavior of the person that was placed into the groups. This supported the two-factor theory, where one feels physical arousal and has to cognitively label it before feeling the emotion. For example, if you were in a dark alleyway and a stranger approached you, your heart rate may accelerate and you begin to tremble. You realize that your body is reacting that way and you identify that you're feeling fear. Your cognitive labeling of that physical arousal depends on the context. In a different context, your heart rate could increase because of a different situation, such as a roller coaster ride. Because the context is different, you would cognitively label your reason for reacting that way due to another emotion, such as excitement. Overall, the two-factor theory is how you interpret a physical reaction, which leads to the emotion you feel. In contrast to the two-factor theory, Robert Zions theorized that feelings can come before labeling. In an experiment done in 1980, Zions quickly flashed pictures to a group of people, too fast for them to identify them properly. Despite that, the participants were able to pick the image they preferred. If you recall immediately liking something or someone without knowing why, that would be Zions' theory of emotion. Neuroscientists in 2009 discovered that our emotions have two different brain pathways to follow, one called the high road and the other called the low road. In one pathway, complex emotions such as hatred and love travel the high road, where a stimulus goes through the thalamus to the brain's prefrontal cortex, where it's analyzed and sent to the emotion control center, which is the amygdala. However, for simple emotions such as like, dislike, or fear, your emotions take the low road, where it takes a neural shortcut that doesn't go through the cortex and travels directly to the amygdala through the thalamus. Neural projections from your amygdala are sent to the cortex more than they are received from the cortex, making it easier for feelings to take over cognitive thinking. If you were in a forest and you heard a loud snap, you would likely jump and feel fear first, then cognitively assess the sound before feeling fear. Zions' theory of emotion states that some of our emotional reactions do not involve thinking. Lazarus's theory of emotion, or the appraisal theory, combines elements from both the two-factor theory and Zions' theory, where it is believed that most emotions are processed through the low road, but despite that, we consciously or unconsciously appraise the situation anyway. When we feel emotions, we need to appraise the event first. Using the forest example, if you heard a loud snap, you may not cognitively label it and analyze it first, but you appraise the sound as a potentially dangerous situation. This causes you to feel fear. Later, you may realize it was just a branch rustling because of wind, but in that moment, you appraised the situation to some degree to feel the emotion. To summarize, Schachter's theory focuses on your conscious cognitive processing of an event, while Zion's focuses on the unconscious processing of an event. Lazarus's appraisal theory incorporates a conscious and unconscious approach. Both automatic emotion and conscious thinking combine together to make up our daily emotional lives.